Now, for the latest on the ground, we can cross to Bilal Sarwary, an Afghan journalist. He joins us from the Afghan capital, Kabul. Thanks for joining us, Bilal. Now, it's been 2 days since the Taliban took control of Kabul. What is the atmosphere like in the city today?
Life is picking up slowly but surely. Shops are opening up. Some restaurants are also opened, but this is still a city, that does not have its old traffic jams and the hustle and bustle of life. We heard from the deputy leader of Taliban, Mullah Yaqub, who's also the son of former Taliban leader and founder Mullah Omar, appealing for calm, asking Taliban fighters to not go into people's homes, saying no one is allowed to do that. No one is allowed to seize vehicles and weapons and ammunition from anyone's house. And in fact, anyone doing so would be, dealt with. We also heard from a senior Taliban leader on the state radio television, saying that women should come back to the government to work, that the future government would be Islamic, but there were no other further details how that could look like. And the announcement of the general amnesty offered by Sheikh Haibatullah Khunzada, the Taliban leader. We have to really see how the Taliban transition from fighting into governance, but for the time being, they have asked the former mayor of Kabul to keep his old job and continue keep Kabul functional and maintain law and order in the city as far as the municipality is concerned. They've also asked the former Minister of Health, Waid Majro, to keep working with the Taliban's health commissions. This is a long-standing relationship. When the Taliban had a shadow government, there was a working relationship between the Afghan government and Taliban Health Commission, allowing health work in rural areas. But for the Taliban, this is also a very, very new Afghanistan. There's social and cultural changes. People have access to social media. Citizen journalism is a big thing. And the Taliban have a generation of their own that were on social media, in cultural department and other departments. So they know the changes. And let's see if this is a policy that is only short term or that's probably the new Afghanistan.
Yes, now, as you mentioned, the Taliban have announced an amnesty across Afghanistan in a bid to calm nerves and urge people to return to work. Can this declaration be believed? Have the Taliban been retaliating against those who worked with Afghan or U.S. forces?
Well, we will have to see how this holds on the ground. The Taliban political leadership, I think, is very conscious to the fact that now that they have control of the whole country, it does not serve them to not have the support of everyone and anyone, and they are appealing for that. We will have to see what sort of share they're willing to give to others, what sort of freedoms there might be. But today, for example, Tulu News operated Afghanistan's biggest television station, and a female presenter was presenting the news. As far as the retaliations go, the Taliban have said that whatever has happened in the past is the past, and that extends to those who would work with the Americans and others. But people don't have faith. People have fears. People simply don't believe that. So we'll have to see how the reality on the ground holds for everyone.
And what are your concerns personally working as a journalist in Afghanistan?
Well, I was here when the Taliban war toppled. I started my career back then, and I've been telling the story of the people of Afghanistan over the last 20 years, and I'll continue to do so as long as I can. And I think it is important that the world hears what is happening inside the country. So far I've been in touch with various Taliban officials who've given me assurances that media will continue its work and that I don't have to worry about anything. And they have been very quick in terms of their outreach. Once they find out that there are concerns, or once they found out that there should be an outreach as well.
And just one last question before we go. On Monday, Kabul's international airport, chaotic scenes as thousands were trying to flee. Has it been stabilized? What's the situation like there today?
Well, there is calm reported, but we don't know what is happening to the chaos, what is happening to the thousands of people who are there. We have to really remember this is the tip of the iceberg. There are more and more people who are still in the city and across the country who have not been able to make it to the airport. So we'll have to see and and observe how that transition might take place. There's talk of a humanitarian corridor that some people have asked for, but it is still a very chaotic reality, and it's an embarrassing reality that after 20 years, the images that we have seen of people clinging on to aircrafts and some people falling from the aircraft as it was taking over, I think are simply heartbreaking.
Indeed, dramatic scenes as we saw. Well, thank you for joining us, Bilal Sarwary, Afghan journalist reporting live from Kabul.